What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Many Thoughts with Dr. T. I hope y'all are doing well. Hope y'all are doing good. I am doing well. I can't complain. Um, I gotta tell y'all funny. Well, it's not funny. It's funny in hindsight, but it wasn't funny at the time. I enjoy wearing hats, right? But y'all know if you look at the intro video for the last couple of years, I've had a shortcut. With a shortcut, if I wear a hat, I'm gonna look real bald, and so I haven't worn hats for a little while. But now since I'm in my long hair wig life era, you know what I'm saying? I'm back to wearing ball caps and stuff, and check, y'all like this bronze and wool. This is actually my husband's brand. He has his clothing line. So check that out and put the link in the description. So they got a lot of nice um hats and shirts and hoodies, all that type of stuff. But anyway, I was at the mall, right? And I think I had just bought a hat out of, I don't know, Vans or something like that. And so, I bought it. I was carrying around the bag with the hat in it. And I was like, let me just put this hat on so I don't have to carry around this bag. So I come out of Vans, I'm just walking in the corridor of the mall, and, they have like those big trash cans every so often. So I come up to one, take the hat out, throw the bag away, you know, plop the hat on my head. And as I go to take a step, this white man like comes up to me and takes out like, I don't know, pocket knife, switchblade, whatever. That joint was like that big. It's like he opened it. It was about that big, and it was kind of like almost at my heart level. And y'all, I just froze. Like I couldn't process quick enough like what was happening, right? So I'm like, oh, got my new hat, boom, and it was like, and I was like, oh my god, like what's going on? And I think he's seen like the fear in my eyes. Like, I didn't know if he was trying to rob me, trying to get me for my hat. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know if he was trying to stab me. I didn't know what was going on. And he was like, "Oh, you got a tag on the top. I just wanted you to. I was trying to help you so you can cut it off." I was like, "Sir, I'm not trying to skin a deer. Like it's a tag. I can pull it off. I'm good, but thank you." Um, Crazy. Okay. Like I heard what he was saying, but like the shock of it all, I just kind of like froze. I couldn't process it quick enough. It was crazy. I seen my life flash before my eyes. Like it was real crazy. And I joked with him about it, but I think eventually he realized that that was real crazy. He was like, you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. Yo, you can't just be pulling out knives on people. Like, what in the world? But anyway, I thought that was a funny story in hindsight. But anyway, we are here to talk about Ready to Love. The rest of the season is coming out next Friday, August 1st. I've forgotten about all these people, all these storylines. So I'm rewatching it. Since I'm rewatching it, I thought I would come to you guys so help refresh you guys as well. So I already did 1 and 2. So if you haven't seen that, you can look on my Ready to Love playlist, and that's there. This is 3 and 4. Okay. So let's get started. The very first thing, episode 3, is we talk with Cam, and they're doing all their small dates and whatever. And I'm not gonna do a play by play, but I'm just picking out the things that were kind of large, the big things in the episode. So y'all remember Cam. Um, so this is Cam. He's the third one here. He's the firefighter. And I just didn't like some of the things he was saying. I'm just pointing this out because we gotta clock it. We gotta clock it because we don't know what might transpire later in the episodes. So he was saying stuff like marriage is not my goal, being happy is the goal. If I find somebody, I find somebody. I'm down for whatever. Um, with the right person, I could eventually get there, but my focus is on happiness. I don't know, y'all. I just didn't like it. He seemed so nonchalant about it, like it is what it is. I might find somebody, I might not. It is. And so I wasn't really feeling that. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I think happiness is the goal, with somebody, but it's giving, he's the type of person where you're gonna be dating for like 8 to 10 years before he gives you a ring type of situation. You see what I'm saying? So let's just keep our eye out on Cam. It wasn't given intentional. It wasn't given that, I'm really trying to be serious and with the right woman, we're going to get married and get this thing popping. You know what I'm saying? And we're not trying to force that on nobody, but you came on this show. We didn't force you to come on this show. You came on this show. So it just seems like he's not as intentional. So I just picked up on that. Um, and then the other thing I thought was kind of funny, kind of rude. So Deanna and Kim, so y'all remember they're both firefighters. So, some people was thinking, oh, maybe they can get together. That'd be cool. But Deanna just shut that down real quick. And I just thought she did it in a kind of a demeaning way. I thought she did a little bit too much, put a little bit too much on it. Because I guess she's been doing this for a while, and maybe Cam is more newer, more junior, and she really exploited that fact. So he was like, "Yeah, I've been working for, I don't know what he said, 3 or 4 years. Like, oh yeah, I've been doing this. I've been doing this for 10. I teach the younger cadets now. Oh, just kind of sunning him. So he was like, dang. And she's like, how tall are you? Oh, you only 5'10"? Oh yeah, nah. I was like, dang, Deanna. Because I feel like we can't help how we look, y'all. We were born like this. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do anything about it. So I just don't like demeaning people based on their features. If somebody got a big nose, ears, height, it's like, what you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? Somebody say something about me, my eyes are big, nose, what? Tell me what you want me to do about it, please. I mean, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? So I just thought that was kind of rude. And I told y'all I'm vertically challenged myself, so I got a soft spot. When people height shame, you see what I'm saying? So I thought Deanna put a little too much on it. She could have put a little easier on Cam. All right, so then let's talk about Wayne. That was the next thing here. Let's see. Yeah, so this is Wayne, and Wayne was ghosting several of the ladies. So he ghosted Angie, that was the big one, and Coley as well. So let me see. Let me show y'all so y'all can just remember because we hadn't seen this show in like 4 months. So Angie, let's see, Angie. So y'all remember Angie, okay? And Coley was like, yeah, I gave him my number and he didn't say anything to me either. But the person who really had an issue was Angie. So they had all went out for a date. The date went good. It was over. It's like a 2-on-2. Date went good. Everybody got up and Angie asked Wayne to stay back. And she pretty much was telling him like, yeah, I don't like how you didn't text or call me. I gave you my number. Like, you gonna have to step it up and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I'm not with that, y'all. My thing is, if a man really likes you, really wants you, he's gonna pursue you, period. You see what I'm saying? Period. If he's not doing that, he's not that into you. So I didn't like that Angie was like trying to say, yeah, you need to do this, you got to step it up, and you need to be da 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 da. And it's like, girl, if he didn't contact you, don't worry about him. It's okay. It's like 9 other men here. Don't worry about it. So I thought that was a bad look for Angie. And you tell Wayne he wasn't taking this process serious. You know what I mean? He was just collecting numbers just because he was doing it to several people. So I knew he wasn't serious. And then also let me take a step back. So on this 2-on-2 date, I think it was Angie, Wayne, Coley, and Eddie. Um, Angie also mentioned that she was previously married. She's divorced, obviously, but she was previously married and her husband paid for everything. She didn't have to worry about anything, but she said she wouldn't do that again. Cause a lot of women, that's the goal. That's the life. That's the soft life, right? I don't gotta work. I don't gotta worry about nothing. My man pay all the bills but Angie let us know, like, that's not the way. Like, I didn't enjoy that. And she says that, cause then Eddie was like, I mean, did you have some hobbies or something? And she was saying that her husband, like, really wouldn't let her do anything. He just expected her to stay at home. So that's just a cautionary tale, ladies. Like, the grass is not always greener. Um, and I remember every time I had 3 kids. Every time I was on maternity leave, I just stay at home mom just ain't for me. right? So I got like 12 weeks off. About week 3 or 4, I was like, whew, can't wait to get back to work. This just not for me. And y'all know my disclaimer. I love my kids. Okay. But I I can't be like watching them all day like that. You know what I'm saying? The grace is not on my life for that. Daycare workers and everything, I applaud you. Like y'all got a special anointing for that. I don't. You see what I'm saying? So, now don't get me wrong, I don't want a 9 to 5 either, but I do want to always be working on something, working on some type of creative project or something. I can't just, you know, be a traditional stay at home mom that just manages the household. I got to be working on something. So yeah, and I always think that's scary, man. And I trust me, it works for millions of women, but I just always think it's scary if you're a stay at home mom and you're solely reliant on your husband, because if he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed one day or he want to leave you, it's like, what are you going to do? Better yet, if you want to leave him, you can't. You're stuck. And so I always feel like if you're a stay-at-home mom, you need to, one, have a little part-time, maybe not gotta be a part-time job, but some type of hustle or some type of something that's generating income that you can have. Or, have an agreement with your husband, like, listen, you get so much money every week or 2 weeks or whatever that goes into an account that's just for you, that you can do whatever you want to do with it. You see what I'm saying? And a savings as well. Like, I think you need to have both of those two things established. It's not just he got the bank account, he got all the money, and you got to come ask and all that type of stuff. So I just always think that's real tricky. And good, again, I'm sure it works for a lot of people, but it also has gotten a lot of women in trouble. Like you said, he starts being abusive or whatever, and you like, dang, I'm really not happy here anymore. And you have really nowhere to turn because you have no funds, no resources. You've been out the job market for 10 years. You know, you don't have a resume, no skills. It's just, so you just got to be careful on that type of stuff. So anyway, that was that. Then next thing, oh yeah. Well, okay, I talked about that. So the next thing, we go back to Cam, and I didn't write it down. I forgot who he was talking to, but he made this comment, y'all. Again, I don't know about Cam. He said, I know you out here working hard and everything, but when you come home, you got to fall in line. You need to be feminine. And something about that, I was just like, and oh, you know what? I think it was, what's her name? Let me see if I can find it for y'all. Yeah, Kiera. I think it was Kiera. Cause she was like, she kind of did the same thing. Fall in line. I would just want to know, like, what does that mean to you? It was giving real Joe Jackson, not Joe Jackson, Tina Turner's husband, Ike Turner. It was giving real Ike Turner. So I would just want to know, like, what does that mean to you? What does that look like to you for me to fall in line? You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, yeah, you got to be feminine so I can do my thing. And I'm like, why do I gotta like be a certain way for you to be a certain way? You know what I'm saying? And I understand, like, submitting to your husband, that whole thing, but just the way he said it was kind of like, what? So I would just want to know a little bit more about what falling in line means to him. Does that mean like you make all the decisions? I don't have no say so. You running the budget and you doing this and that and that, and I just got to be around cleaning the house. You know what I'm saying? I would just need to get a better picture of that. Um, so yeah, so that was that. So then it was time. So this is all episode 3. And so Wayne ended up being in the bottom. Like we talked about. Let me show you Wayne again. Like you said, he was just ghosting everybody. So all the ladies was kind of feeling like he wasn't taking the process seriously. And he was like, "Yeah, I can be a space cadet sometimes. Sometimes I'm so into my routine. I'll look up and it's been 5 to 7 days and I haven't even talked to my person. So then at that point, the person expects to see me, but then now I feel like it's an obligation. So then I'm not even excited." I was like, "Get off, get off. I don't know what you talking about." If you don't want to be in a relationship, just say that. Like nobody's forcing you to be in a relationship. So thank God he got kicked off. He wasn't ready to love. And then he revealed himself because he was on some old like I wouldn't do anything different. I ain't come on here to stroke egos because I don't care about what nobody else thinks. I was like, okay, get on off. Thanks so much. So Wayne is gone. That was episode 3. And then we move on to episode 4. And episode 4, it was this whole weird situation with Naeem and True. I don't know if y'all remember this. Yeah, so True, Naeem, they had been talking. And I guess it's a whole thing where True gave Naeem her number, but Naeem felt away because and was offended because he kept saying Google Doc, but I think he meant to say a Google Voice number. Um, so he just was really offended that he didn't get her real cell phone number, that he got a Google Voice number. And I guess people give Google Voice numbers if they don't want to get their personal number to somebody. It could be for business purposes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a separate number that's not your real one. So I guess he got really offended. And I was trying to think, I was like, dang, would I be offended? And I couldn't really say. I feel like I haven't been in that situation, so maybe I would be offended, but I'm like, as long as I have a number to contact you, I don't see the issue. Like maybe I'm missing something. Now if I asked for your number, you gave me an email, or you was like, yeah, just hit me up on Instagram. I'd be like, dang, But if I got a number, I don't know. He was like really offended by that, like big time. So I don't know. I don't know, but he was upset about that. Okay, so that's kind of what they kind of had this unspoken elephant thing. Okay. So then Naeem, remember, wanted to bring the cast, well, not the cast, but certain people to his gym because he owns a gym. So he brought them there, and True was one of the people he invited so that they could work out, see him in his element, and get to talk and stuff afterwards. Where True misses the entire thing, right? Because they maybe were there for an hour and a half. She misses the entire thing. She gets there all the way late when it's over. I was with Naeem on this. I think True was wrong for that because she really didn't even apologize. I low key feel like she did it on purpose because he was like, yo, like, you just now getting here? Like, what's up? She was like, yeah, I told you I was at work. Like, but anyway, let's get to the real topic why you didn't text me. Like, she just dismissed that she was late. She didn't apologize or anything. She just wanted to talk about why he hadn't texted her. So they were already off on the wrong page. So yeah, at this point, I'm just like, y'all, they just not gonna work. They're both, he's upset about the number, and she's like, who cares what number I gave you? You didn't call or text, which I feel her on that. Either way, you at least could have called. Maybe you could have joked with me about it once you called, like, dang, why you got to give me this number? But at least call, at least text or whatever. So I kind of felt her on that, but I didn't think it was cool. I think she was being passive aggressive, and I think she came to that event late on purpose just to stick it to him. So anyway, they're not going to work. And then the next one is Rose and Cam. So y'all remember Cam, firefighter, boom. And then Miss Rose. Okay. Now, y'all got to remember, in the prior episodes, Rose told us, this is what Rose told us, that spirituality, religion is very, very important to her. That's number one. Her man got to be God-fearing, right? Cam was like, yeah, I'm straight on that. I don't do that. I grew up in a very religious household. I'm not trying to do that. Like, I'm not on that. Like, you can do your thing, but don't try to force that on me. Okay. So I'm thinking, okay, Rose is not going to talk to Cam anymore. She's probably not going to go on any more dates with him because she told us that's number one. That's important. So to my surprise, I see Rose and Cam on another date. So I'm like, what's going on here? So, yeah, she got excited because they were ready to eat because they were at some restaurant. And she was like, you gonna let me say grace? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. Like, it's cool. She said grace. And he was like, amen or something. She was like, see, oh my God, I just feel so much better. Like, shoo, he's cool. And I was just like, no, sis. Like I always tell y'all, I think that and then Cam too, he was like, yeah, we're perfectly compatible. I'm like, no, 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 you're not. I think it's easy to say on paper, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, it's good, I'm gonna do my thing, she gonna do her thing. We're not gonna, force our religion and faith on each other and we good. That's easy to say on paper, but when you living with somebody, that's really a big deal. Um, at some point, Cam's gonna be like, you doing too much. She might want to be like, hey babe, let's pray real quick. I'm going through the situation. But he gonna be like, nah, or whatever. I don't know. He gonna say she doing too much, it don't really take all that. She might be like, hey, they having a 3-day revival. And he gonna be like, okay, I see you when you get back. I just think it's a lot. That's the one thing I feel like that you got to be compatible with somebody on is the your faith. I just think you're asking for trouble. Like, why make marriage harder? Why? I just feel like that's an easy one. It's a layup. Just get somebody, just be in somebody with the same faith, right? And then don't have kids. That makes it even more complex, even more difficult. Because I feel like personally, when you're unequally yoked, when you're on one faith, he's in another faith or no faith at all. I think it communicates to the kids that I don't think the faith is that serious because daddy not doing it. Daddy don't go to church. Daddy don't pray. So it can't be that deep. You know what I mean? And I think it's hard to enforce the faith when both parents are doing two different things. You see what I'm saying? And Rose is still young enough to have kids. She's 37. I think Kim is 33. So I'm sure they probably would want to have children. And even holidays, like say somebody's 7-day Adventist, you're a Christian, you're like, okay, yes, it's Christmas, and he like, nah, we won't do no Christmas around here, what I'm saying? Or whatever. It's just real difficult. It just sends mixed messages to the kids, I think. Um, and even once the kids get a little older, like, what if I want to go to church and I want to enforce that the kids go to church? And then, their dad's going to be like, he ain't got to go. Like, it's all good. You need to let him decide. He old enough to decide or whatever. And then also, y'all, faith should be more than like going to church on a Sunday or a mosque or a temple. You know what I mean? It should be a lifestyle. That's the thing. And how can you enforce a lifestyle if y'all are not on the same page? You see what I'm saying? Just like for example, we have 3 sons, but my 2 little ones, they're little, but my oldest one is 7. So one of the things that we're starting to enforce with him is, death and life is in the power of the tongue. And that's not just some scripture that we quote. Like, we're really serious about that in our house. So we always tell him, like, we don't speak negativity. Like, we don't do that around here in our house. We don't speak negativity over ourselves. So he can't say something like, man, this homework is so hard. I'm going to never get it. We don't allow that. You'll never get it. And then you wonder why you're making F's on all your tests. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't allow that. So, I'll ask him to rephrase that. So he can say something like, man, this is really difficult. Mom, can you help me? But you can't speak negativity. We won't do that in here. You see what I'm saying? Not only do I enforce that, but my husband enforces that too. So if my husband hears him saying something, he'll get on to him. You know what I'm saying? Now, what if I was enforcing it, but his dad was calling him stupid every day? Again, he's going to wonder, like, okay, is that important or is it not? So I just feel like you got to be on the same page. And and it's so funny because if you know me and my husband in real life, people always laugh because we are serious about words. Like, we do not play that. And if you are ever around us, you'll hear us say something. We always say like, I don't receive that. And people always laugh, but we are serious. Like, people say so much negativity, all these cliches like, child, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Like, if you say that around us, people like, nah, I won't receive that. Not up in here, it ain't. Oh man, it's always something. Nah, it ain't always something up in here. You got to be careful with that kind of stuff. I didn't write that scripture. It's Proverbs 18 and 21. Go check it out. I didn't. The good Lord said that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have what you say. And so we're real serious about words. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not about just going to church on Sunday. Like, it's a lifestyle thing for us. So I just say all that to say, you got to be careful when you are linking up, because I know people like to say, yeah, don't be unequally yoked, but that's what it really means. Like, it's hard when one person is trying to enforce something and the other person is trying to enforce something completely different, or they're neutral and don't care that much. You know what I mean? It's really difficult. So I was just really surprised because Rose came to us and said how important this was. When I seen him on another date, I was like, and shouts out to Cam because he was up front. Like, he could have kept that to himself, but he told her on the first day, like, look, I ain't about that spiritual stuff. So he left it up to Rose, and I guess she decided to sweep that under the rug for a man. So we shall see how that plays out. Next was Fritz and Coley. So this was pretty funny. Let me show y'all. Fritz, and I don't like Fritz either, y'all. So that's Coley, and y'all remember Fritz. I think he's putting on as well. He's gives that he's putting on a front and playing games. And so y'all remember they were at that cookout, and Fritz's whole thing was about the polyamorous lifestyle. So Coley confronted him about some hashtags that he follows on Instagram. And she noticed, she was like, hey, I noticed that you follow like poly, like you follow a lot of poly stuff. And Fritz was like, nah, just because I follow it doesn't mean I'm into it. I'm just curious. And he was like, I mean, I follow chefs, but I'm not a cook. I follow NASA, but I don't plan on going to space. Doing too much and putting on. That's what I'm talking about. You gotta be careful with people like that. I feel like, y'all, I don't care what nobody say. And I know he said he's just curious. Listen to me. Every man's dream is to have a wife, a committed wife and kids at home that he can come home to. That's always there. Okay. And I'm just saying, in a perfect world, if a man could, this is what they would want: a wife and kids at home, and to be able to have other women, right, as they please. That's every man's dream. However, 99% of men don't make enough money to bring that to pass. Okay. If you make a lot of money, and I'm talking to like multi-millionaire type of thing, then the wife might turn a blind eye. Okay. And act like she don't see what's going on. So those men are able to make to bring that to pass. Your everyday man, you can't do that. Okay. Um, so, and Fritz gives that, because you remember the first episode, he was like, oh yeah, I was in Italy last week and I was doing this and da 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 da. So it gives that he probably makes a lot of money, and he probably would like that lifestyle. The fact that he's following that, I would be a little curious too. Like, I don't know. So I'm with Coley on that one. He was trying to play it down like it's nothing. Like, nah, I mean, and it's just too like, why even? And I'm old, y'all. I'm not old, which is even more sad. I should be hip to like Instagram and TikTok and all this stuff. I just be on Facebook. I know. So I really don't know what she means by he follows hashtags, but whatever that means, you would think that's something you would just do in private and not like have it on your page. So, but anyway, and as you know, that becomes like a whole thing. So that's kind of where that stemmed from. All right, so just to end this out, it was time for the men to make a decision on the women. So Cam delivered the news to Sahara and said she's a firecracker. Oh, okay, yeah. One more thing before I say who went home. Um, Cam, so we talked about Cam, right? So I started the episode off like this, right? So he was on like, marriage is not the goal. If I find somebody, I find somebody. And then he was on the whole, like, you got to fall in line. And it's another line he said that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. When he was talking to Sahara, y'all know Sahara. Let me show y'all just so y'all can remember. Sahara, where are you? Okay, yeah. So y'all remember she has like a larger than life personality. She's a tiny bit hood, just a little bit. And so he had to deliver because it was between True and Sahara on who was gonna go home. And he was like, yeah, she a firecracker or whatever, but I got her under control. Again, I just didn't like it. Like, what you mean you got her under control? And that combined with the fall in line, I don't know. I'm gonna have to start calling him like Cam Turner, Cam Ike Turner or something. I don't know. We just gonna see. But I'm just clocking. I don't like the language. So it's between True and Sahara. They decided to send True home. And again, True was the one that was tripping with that whole Google Voice number type of thing. Yeah, so that's True. So True is out. Y'all remember Will, the one that was smiling all crazy? Yeah, he is out, and Wayne is out. So two guys out, one woman out. Okay, so that's where we ended episode 4. All right. All right. So we are getting closer. Next week I'm gonna come and I'll review 5 and 6. I'll do that earlier in the week, and then we'll be set for Friday when the new set of episodes come out. I hadn't seen this show in so long, y'all. I was at the edge of my seat, like, ooh, I wonder what's gonna happen. Like, I totally forgot all the storylines. Like, I'm watching this, like, I hadn't seen it before. Like, again, I don't know why they took such a big break. It's real weird. But anyway, so that's all I got, y'all. I will be back next week to do the next 2 episodes. All right, see ya.